What up, K-Rugs, the sober dog, yeah! Got another sober dog, Lucy, with us. Say what up, Luce. Here with Rob, one of my best friends since about 7th, 8th grade. We've been through all the best and the worst times together. Getting into trouble, unfortunately getting high, and now being sober. Say what up, Rob.
What up, Sober Dog family?
Yeah! Today we're going to talk about sponsorship, some of the importance of sponsorship in the program, helping people out, what are the benefits of it, different things like that. So Rob, you want to give a little quick introduction of you, your little bit of what you went through?
Yeah, so my name's Rob, and like Kyle said, we had a whirlwind of a lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol, a lot of scandalous activity, robbing, stealing, everything that comes with addiction for a long time. And I was never ready until the pain became too great. And when the pain became too great is when I sought help from programs like AA, found a sponsor, worked the steps, and as I sit here today, I'm coming up on 2 years clean and sober.
That's freaking awesome. That is unbelievable. Anyone that knows Rob and I and know the history of what we used to do know that that's a miracle in itself.
That's a fact.
All right, Rob, so how long after you got sober until you got a sponsor?
Well, my story's, I was going to say my story's a little different, but it's really not. If you're in the rooms, you hear this quite a bit. I was stopped. I didn't stop on my own. The police stopped me, and I was arrested, and I went to jail for about 5 months. And the day I got out of jail, while I was in jail, I made the decision that, you know what, that was it. I got a chance to look at the last 10 years of my life and all the chaos that I caused. So I made that decision, and I knew that the second I got out of jail, I was going to work this program. And the day that I got out of jail, I walked to a meeting, raised my hand in that meeting, said I want to work this program, but I don't know how to do that. And after the meeting, a bunch of people came up to me, and I got a sponsor right then and there.
Humility. Unbelievably hard to walk in a room with a bunch of strangers and say, I need help. I don't know how to do this. Somebody help. Unbelievably hard. I know it was for me. I definitely didn't do it the first day, the first time I got out.
It's not really a natural thing to walk up to another man and say, hey, I need help. Can you sponsor me? A lot of people don't get a sponsor because they can't put their ego aside and ask another man for help, knowing full well that we can't do this on our own, and they need the help of a sponsor. It's a key point in sobriety.
That's so true, especially coming from the, drug world where it's cutthroat, every man for themselves, don't ask for help. So now, what did this sponsor, how did this sponsor help you? What did he do to, elevate your program?
They take you through the steps. Not only do they take you through the steps, they're your coach, they're your guide. They've been through most of the things that you've been through. So when you're having a craving, you're having an urge, you don't know how to handle a certain situation without using, you pick up the phone and you call them, and 9 times out of 10, they'll have some good advice for you because they've gone through that same exact situation. That aside, they take you through the 12 steps, and those 12 steps build you the bridge to the God of your understanding and help you to go through life as a sober individual from that point on.
That's awesome. And I know there's a lot of misconceptions out there about the steps, but it really is, just admitting you have a problem, rebuilding and dealing with your inner turmoil or inner trauma and help, trying to rebuild and make amends to any outside relationships or issues you've had, and then just helping other people who are struggling. That's the steps, condensed. So you don't have to overthink it as far as if you see the word God and all that. Some people get freaked out, but it's a God of your understanding. It could be spirituality, whatever. So, do you have anything to say on that topic? I know that's a big thing.
Yeah, I mean, the 12 steps isn't just for addicts or alcoholics or gamblers. The 12 steps can benefit anybody's life.
Yeah, it's a fact.
And that's the whole basis for the program. It's not really to, yes, it is to get you off of drugs and alcohol, but it's to make you a better person and a better member of society.
That's a fact. Who'd have thought those words would be coming out of your mouth?
I don't know who this guy is right now. I still haven't gotten used to him.
10 years ago when we were ripping and running. But now, since you've gone through the steps and the sponsor has helped you, do you sponsor other people?
I do, yes. So I've sponsored, I don't know, maybe a dozen guys in the last 2 years. I've gotten a couple people through the steps. One of my sponsees is picking up a year. I'm presenting him. Oh, he already celebrated a year, but I'm presenting him his medallion next week.
That's awesome.
Which is a huge honor. Sponsoring other guys, in my opinion, has helped me more than any other part of this program, because you're constantly going through the steps again. When you take your sponsees through the steps, you're going through the steps again yourself. And you always pick up on little things here and there that you didn't pick up on the first, second, third, or fourth time. So it's just a continuous cycle of keeping you fresh and keeping your defenses up against that next drink or drug.
That's a great point. That's so true. Talking about, I've been asked by a lot of people who are not addicts or alcoholics, why would somebody with 20 or 30 years still go to meetings or still sponsor people? Well, they want to keep that in the front of their brain as much as possible. After 20 years of not drinking or drugging, we're not cured. This is a daily thing we have to fight. So sponsoring can help people, just like Rob said, stay sober. That's awesome. Now, what is your relationship with your sponsor now that you sponsor other people?
My sponsor is one of my best friends. He's a guy I look up to. He's helped me grow. He's somebody that I hold in a very high regard, and I know when he sees this, he's gonna remind me that I said this. But yeah, I mean, when I'm taking my sponsees through the steps, and there's something that I have a question on that I need a little clarification, I can always call him, and he can clear it up, so I can relay the message to the next guy that I'm trying to help. Yeah, man, I mean, it's really a beautiful thing. It goes back to that old cliche in the rooms that you hear, you can't keep what you have unless you give it away. And that's really the key, is to help the next addict or alcoholic, and that's what helps me stay sober today.
That's a fact. That's awesome. My sponsor, just like you said too, has become one of my best friends, knows my whole family, knows me better than probably almost anybody on this planet. It's unbelievable. Rob, what let's kind of end with this. How is sobriety different than your active using? What is better? How is your life better? And then any closing words of wisdom, kind of.
How's my life better? Well, that's a very long answer to that question.
Okay.
It's night and day. When I was in active addiction, using and drinking and drugging every day, I didn't have a life. I would be secluded and isolated by myself. My phone wouldn't ring for weeks and weeks and weeks. Nobody wanted me around. I barely wanted myself around. Today, I have so many blessings. I have a beautiful fiance. I have a son on the way. I'm getting married in a couple of months. I have a beautiful house, beautiful cars. The material things are great, like I always say, but the peace that I have is even better. I have a peace in my mind. I know that my mother can sleep at night. I know that my father doesn't have to stay up at night waiting for the phone call that I OD'd and I'm dead. My family can count on me. It's night and day. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
That's awesome. That is wonderful. And I will be at Rob's wedding, sober, God willing, the day that it comes.
In the wedding. He'll be
in the wedding. Who would have ever thought? A couple of years ago, if you asked either of us, we would have said, you're out of your mind. But that's awesome. That's a bunch of wonderful information on sponsorship. Make sure you hit that like, that subscribe. You can help us get more Sober Dogs content out there. Rob, give me a Sober Dogs. See ya.
See ya.